Hey everyone, it's me, Aisha Nairi, and welcome back to Aisha Nairi TV. Taking a second to once again thank you all for joining me on this journey and for jumping in, watching my videos, liking my videos, subscribing. So thank you to all the new subscribers that have joined us. I really appreciate you all so much. So you are the real MVPs. And thank you for those that have shared my video around. I'm glad it could help other creative entrepreneurs out there like yourselves. So today the topic is, this is inspired by my children, as many things that I do are, you've watched my channel for a while. I do have two children. I was going to say two small children, but they are getting bigger every day. So I once had two babies, but they grew up on me. So now I have two big kids, but still kids. And the other day, and it's so comical to me now, they were fighting. Their brother and sister, they fight. And that is part of being in a sibling relationship. I have siblings, and yeah, we would fight. And they're very close in age, so they fight over nonsense. And this particular morning, they were just having at it and fighting over it, and they were still fighting about it when they came home, and then they got into an argument about in camp, and then they came home, they're still cranky, and the next morning they just couldn't let it go. And I told them the night before, look, I am not in the mood to referee this. I'm really not in the mood, and you guys are getting older, and you're gonna have to learn to work it out. You're gonna have to compromise and learn to work it out, because you guys are getting older. We cannot have these levels of shenanigans anymore. We can't. You guys are not 5. So work it out. What I was hoping to get into sooner rather than later is a whole concept of picking your battles and forgiveness. This has been a long, hard fought lesson for them, because honestly they don't want to, they don't get it, and for them everything is a huge slight, because everything is so important. It's a huge slight, and I find them saying things like, well, it's the principle, it's not just what they did, it's the fact that they feel like they were unjustly wronged for whatever reason. Now there's righteous anger for like social justice, and when you have a moral obligation to seeing what's wrong and you want to go out and make things what's right. I do find, but when you start saying things like, it's not that, it's just the principle. It's a principle matter. It's the concept. It's just not fair. That's their way of saying it's the principle of the matter. They say it's just not fair. It's just not fair for them doesn't always mean actual fairness. A lot of times it just means I don't like it. So it's just not fair, which is not the same thing. So in this particular case, neither of them wanted to let it go. They were both stubbornly holding on to their point of view, and they were being super, super stubborn about it. And neither of them was willing to back down. And they were hoping that meant that since they weren't going to back down, that they didn't have to back down either. And I put it out to them, look, if by the end of this day, or by the time you go to camp tomorrow, if you guys can't reach compromise, can't let it go, can't really work together and let some of these differences go, I don't care which ones, but you got to work together and figure it out and communicate. If you can't, you are going to miss out on the big field trip at camp, because it was very simple for me to be like, no, you're not going. And instead, all you're going to do is do not fun stuff with mommy, because I had a whole day of cleaning planned. It was my cleaning day. I don't even like to clean. Now, don't get me wrong. It's nice when there are a lot of people helping me clean, but I would have much rather they went out to go to camp, because I did have other stuff besides clean that I wanted to get done. And guess what? And hence the topic of this video. They couldn't get to it. They could not just let it go. And they were hoping that maybe if they faked it for a little while, and maybe if they pretended, if I didn't see them being mean to each other, or so they just refused. They were barely tolerating each other. Here's the thing, you guys, that's not forgiveness. Forgiveness is when you release the debt. You release the debt. Because when you don't forgive, and there are people in your life that you are holding on to resentment and anger to that are affecting your creative projects. When you don't forgive, you are still blaming people from your past. I didn't get this piece of equipment when I was a kid. I didn't get the right encouragement, so I can't do this now. It's their fault that I am not moving ahead. It's someone else's fault. When you don't forgive, you are putting your future and your opportunities in the fate of someone else. They're still in charge of your feelings. And you will still be wasting your time and your energy on them. They're still taking up space in your head, space that is really much more valuable working on your creative projects. And yet, you are giving them the keys to your energy. They dip in it, and they might not even know, but they have it. So that's where they were at too, in their stubborn ways. They were just holding on to it. They're just holding on to it. For them, it wasn't about. I guess it was creativity because they couldn't go be creative and have fun with their friends. So yeah, they didn't. They definitely did not go on that trip and had to clean all day. Just lovely. My house was spotless for a day. But it did teach them because by the next day, or actually by later that afternoon, they were starting to, I could see they were starting to have conversations again and kind of work through that and figuring out where they were just going to let things go and forgive each other. And none of these were like major issues, because if there were major issues, they would have gotten help from adults. No, this was just petty nonsense on both of their part. But being able to let things go and forgive, releasing each other from whatever perceived debt or perceived slight, then they could reap the benefits and spend more of their time and effort on the things that they wanted to spend it on, versus just seething and sitting in a corner seething. And I mean, worst case scenario, having to do something completely different to reset them, which is not at all what they wanted to do. But they did. It was a lesson that they did finally get through. Yay. And we were able to salvage part of the weekend at least. So that is a very good thing. Even though they didn't get to go on that particular trip, don't worry. There are other trips that they'll begin to go on. So that was my thing. Like, look at who are you blaming in your life for where you're at, for anything. Are you blaming your parents? Are you blaming friends? Are you blaming your former employee? Who are you blaming? Who are you giving the keys to your mind and putting all of your success and joy on them? Because if it's on them, that means you have to wait for them to come change it. You're waiting for them to ask for forgiveness, or waiting for them to beg, or whatever it is you feel like they owe you, and you're waiting for them to give it to you. Or you can forgive them, take away their power altogether, forgive them, release them of the debt, wish them well, cut those cords, whatever it is you need to do, and move and keep your energy for yourself. It's yours. So that time and mind, space, and creativity is better served somewhere else. Trust me. So that is the lesson for today. Compliments of my amazing children. And I'm actually on my way to go pick them up right now. So I hope that helps. Remember, inspiration's everywhere, even with your family. Like usual, if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share. And leave me some comments below if something resonated with you. We do a video every day, so I can't wait to see what you're working on and hear more about your projects. In the meantime, go forth, get creative, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.